What's up, guys? How's everybody doing? This is Pre for Parallax Entertainment. I'm coming at you today with the Shadow Priest 7.2 guide. In this video, I'm going to be solely focusing on what talents you should be choosing for patch 7.2. In some of the other videos, I will touch on your stat priorities and show you guys the rotation and what you need to be doing to make sure you keep in your DPS on par. But with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into choosing our talents. First talent, we are definitely going to go ahead and choose Twist of Fate. What this does is gives us 20% increased damage to targets that are below 35% health. It's really going to help you boost your damage, especially at the end of fights, get a little higher up on those meters. And if we really think about it, in current content, a lot of these raid bosses, even if they're below 35% health, they still have a lot of health left. We're talking at least a minute or two more of fighting, left before you down that boss. This 20% increased damage is really going to help you out. And we're going to choose this over our other two abilities for a couple of reasons. Fortress of Mind does give you 10% to Mind Flay and Mind Blast for the entire time, but when you really think about it, we're not using those as often as all of our abilities, because for Twist of Fate, it's 20% increased damage for the last 35% of a fight for every single ability that you're going to use, including Mind Blast and Mind Flay. So we're really going to choose Twist of Fate over this because it helps increase damage of all of our abilities. We're also going to choose Twist of Fate over Shadow Word Void for main reason is Shadow Word Void does not do a lot of damage. It does generate quite a bit of insanity, but that's not going to help you out as much as 20% increased damage for all of your abilities. Alrighty, next we're going to go on to level 30 talents. I always like to go with Body and Soul for the main two reasons. First and foremost, it can definitely help you move out of something quicker at a moment's notice. If you're going to be stuck in some sort of mechanic, you need to move out of, some shit on the floor really quickly, you can do it with this. The other main reason that I like to use it is because when you use your power word shield, you obviously get a shield which helps you absorb some damage, and so if you're using this to move out of stuff, move quickly, you're also just using it to absorb some damage. It helps you take less damage throughout a fight, gives you a little bit more survivability. That's the main reason I like it, clicking it to move and also just to absorb some damage. Alrighty guys, next we're going to look at the level 45 talent. For this, we're definitely going to go ahead and choose Mind Bomb for pretty much all situations. First and foremost, I really like Mind Bomb over Psychic Scream because it is a permanent stun. Unlike Psychic Scream, if you fear a target, you or somebody else damages that target, it's going to go ahead and break that CC right then. That's not always ideal. When you use Mind Bomb, you get your full 4 seconds out of it. You can keep damaging it. You can do anything you want to that ad. It's going to stay stunned. There's no way to break it once it's on there. The next reason I really like Mind Bomb over Psychic Scream is Psychic Scream does send a target off in a random direction, and you can't always control or know where it's going to run to. When you fear it, it could run off and pull some more ads or do something you don't want it to, and nobody likes somebody who pulls extra ads unnecessarily. The final reason I definitely choose Mind Bomb is its controllability factor. You can use it precisely on a dime right when you need to, and it can really help your team out, especially if we're talking like mythic dungeons and you're about to hit 30% raging, or your tank has too many stacks in necrotic, you need to stun right then and there. Mind Bomb's perfect for that. The only real downside to Mind Bomb, which isn't that big of a deal, is it does take 2 seconds to detonate. So just keep that in mind. Just make sure you compensate for that. You use it 2 seconds before you actually need it to go off. For the level 60 talent, guys, we're definitely going to go ahead and go with Lingering Insanity. This is going to give you your haste buff to continue after you exit void form rather than expiring immediately. This is really helpful for helping you push right back into void form once you exit, because you're getting that massive haste buff, helps you really crank out your spells a lot faster and really helps you do more DPS throughout the entire fight. It's really nice, especially if you're in void form for a long time. You get 30-40 stacks of Lingering Insanity. When you come out, your haste is still super high. You're able to crank out all of your spells really fast. You're also doing more more ticking damage with the higher amount of haste. Just really helps you out. I used Reaper of Souls for a long time, which increases your damage from Shadow Word Death because you're able to use it at 35% health instead of 20% health. But I've looked at the logs, I've done a lot of experimenting with both, and overall, throughout an entire boss fight, Lingering Sanity definitely is going to help you crank out more damage over the entire fight. Alright, level 75 talents, where it does get a little more specialized. It's really going to depend on your artifact relics, which one you're going to choose here. So let's just look at both. For Sand Lang, it's going to increase the damage of your Vampiric Touch by 20%. It also increases the healing of Vampiric Embrace by 20%. We're not all that too worried about that. We're more worried about damage here. And also Auspicious Spirit, it's going to increase the damage that does by 100%. So that's also very nice. Now, like I said before, it's really going to depend on your relics. Now, for me, all three of my artifact weapon relics are increasing the percent of Auspicious Spirits to occur, which is why I choose Auspicious Spirits for this. Now, if you don't have the relics for that, or if your relics are increasing the damage of your Vampiric Touch, then you're definitely going to want to go with Sand Lane on this. And honestly, unless you have all three auspicious relics, I would definitely go with Sand Lane. Just going to give you 20% increased damage into Vampiric Touch, which is always on your target. Definitely should be always on your target. It's always on your target when you're attacking, so you're going to get 20% increased damage from that. That's pretty nice, but like I said, just kind of use your judgment, see which relics you have, and kind of just base it off of that. Alright guys, now we're going to look at the level 90 talents for this. Once again, it's a little bit of a toss-up. I definitely would go with Power Infusion on this, which is going to give you a 2-minute cooldown ability, which grants you 25% increased haste, and also increases the insanity you generate for 20 seconds. This is pretty nice. This is really the only major burst kind of cooldown that Shadow Priests have. I definitely pop this anytime Lust comes up at the beginning of fights. Basically every time this is up, you're going to want to go ahead and cast it. Use it accordingly to your other major cooldowns. It's just really going to help you cast things faster, deal more damage, and once again, it's going to get you into Void Form quicker and also help you stay in Void Form for longer. Now, the other big one in level 90 is also Misery. What this is going to do is every time you cast Vampiric Touch on a target, it's going to also apply Shadow Word Pain. Now that's pretty nice, saves you a little time there, but I don't find it that big because Shadow Word Pain is an instant cast. The only thing you have to worry about with it is the global cooldown. It's not really going to save you a whole lot of time, and you know, I really find that Power Infused with the haste and the insanity generation boost is going to pay off for you more in the end in increasing your damage, your uptime in Void Form, and just overall being more useful as a burst type of cooldown. Alright guys, let's go ahead and take a look here at the last talent, level 100. First thing I want to do is just go ahead and cross Surrender to Madness right off of our list. I know it was huge, big time DPS in the opening of Legion, even going into 7.1.5, but most priests, including myself, are starting to move away from it. You know, you do your thing, you go into Surrender Madness, you do your big time DPS, but for most players, if you mess up a little, you know, rotation, you mess up a certain thing, you lose your cooldowns, you end up dead. Nobody likes a dead DPS. Everybody knows that a dead DPS does less DPS than a DPS that's alive. Even the lower DPS do more DPS than a dead DPS. Is that confusing? I don't think so. If you die, you're not doing any damage on the boss. You overall are not helping out your team as much. But let's move away from that. Let's look at our other two talents. We've got Legacy of the Void and Shadow Crash. For me personally, I always roll with Legacy of the Void. What this does is allows you to go into Void Form at 65 insanity as opposed to 100. What this does is just let you get into Void Form quicker, let you go through your rotation faster. Overall, just helps you bust out more damage at a quicker pace. Shadow Crash is nice for certain fights like Scorpion or other fights with tons of adds that require some AoE burst, but overall Legacy of the Void is going to do more damage for you in longer fights. Some of these boss fights in Nighthold are 4, 5, 6 minutes long. Legacy of the Void is going to do a lot more overall damage simply because you can get through your rotation and all your abilities much faster. With that being said, that's all of our talents and all for this video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you found found this information helpful, please drop a like below. Also, if you have any questions for me, also drop that down below. Thanks again, guys. This was Pre from Parallax Entertainment. Please make sure you subscribe to our page, and remember to hit that little bell next to the subscribe button. It will let you know every time we drop a new video. I will be dropping some new videos on the Shadow Priest coming up in the next few weeks, so make sure you guys are looking out for that. But until then, guys, remember to keep dotting up those targets, and we'll see you in the next video.